Well, so here we are, in the last room of the Vanessa Bell exhibition, in a room which is about women. It's pictures of women, because it ends famously with Vanessa herself, one of the last self-portraits. We argued about which one we would have in the show, but you really liked this one.
Well, there's a very, very beautiful Bell self-portrait, which is very famous, in which she's wearing a shawl and a hat. And I think that would be the picture that everyone would expect to see at the end of the show. And indeed, we have it in our catalog. It's beautifully done from Charleston. But I had this sort of inexplicable aversion to it. I felt like she looked very sort of beseeching and crumbly and kind of as if she was seeking to please, which is not at all my sense of her personality.
Certainly not.
And here she is, you know, at the end of her life with her fistful of paintbrushes, looking, you know, very engaged with the craft of the day. Painting was central to every day for her. And what I particularly like about the end of the show here is we have that coupled with a letter that she wrote to her daughter-in-law who'd just given birth, and it's this moment of kind of female strength and solidarity. I really felt that what we needed to do was affirm that at the very end of the show as the thing people took with them when they went back out into the world.
But it's interesting because, I mean, she painted throughout her life, but obviously, I suppose the show, we've ended up focusing so much on that the teens of the century, when she's being really extraordinarily dynamic. I mean, there's a wonderful painting over here called The Model, which is absolutely classic of that period. It's so bold, it's so brave. The colors are so extreme. And she's been hacking away at that face, you know, with dark brown shadows, and it shouldn't work. And it just does.
Well, there's a kind of monumentality about it too. And I think what's so interesting is that Duncan Grant, who became her life partner, more or less, down at Charleston, painted the same model probably just about the same day. And his picture is much more ingratiating. He turns to look, you know, the model is turned to look at him. She's much more appearing to be conventionally beautiful. I'm quite intrigued that Bell, you know, is interested in pulling out a kind of stubborn, resistant quality in the model. It's very strikingly different. It tells you maybe a little bit about her own personality,
I mean, that's the thing about the exhibition, ultimately. It tells you about Vanessa Bell, not just as a painter, although that's the key thing we want to get across, what a fantastic painter she is. But it's the life and the art is just like that. And when you see the bravery and the astonishing color and all these extraordinary people that she painted, you feel you know
feel her presence.
And her life was a work of art as well, in a curious kind of a way. Not just the Charleston farmhouse where she painted every surface.
Yes.
She and Duncan Grant turned it into an artwork. But the life itself.
Yes, and what I find so poignant about this show is that, you know, one realizes that Bell never had the experience of seeing all of her work in one room at the same time in a big magnum opus like this. Like, she never had the chance to have the experience that we're now having of her. And I think, you know, showing this exhibition to her family and so on has been, you know, quite emotional, because no one has ever really been able to take the full measure of her. And
well, that's it.
People can do that now.
We're taking her out of that. You know, she gets pigeonholed. She's Bloomsbury. It's, you know, all airy-fairy on the Sussex Downs. Nothing about that. To take her out of her context, to not hang her with Duncan Grant.
Right.
Nothing against Duncan Grant, but not just to take her on her own, herself as an artist. That's what it's about. And say the family haven't seen, or she didn't see works like this. No one has. This is the first major exhibition since she died. There have been one or two. People have heroically championed her. But nonetheless, there's never been a show of this scale. It's amazing.